And we are on the air.
What is up, guys? It is the Sports Sir Brad Walker, and welcome inside the Walker Report, part of In the Zone Sports Radio. Guys, welcome in Thursday night. Hopefully, everyone out there is staying safe with COVID still being on the rise, but I think the numbers are going down across.
Yeah, finally.
Hopefully, it can stay that way for a while.
Right.
Yeah. But guys, if you want some In the Zone Talk Radio sports gear, head over to squadlocker.com. Then type in the Zone Talk Radio to get the store up. Then you can go ahead and buy some gear. I know all the major holidays are all over, but hey, you know what? Tax season's coming up. Tax return. Get yourself some gear. Go right ahead. Help yourself that.
Get something in green for St. Patty's Day.
There you go. We're also, guys, sponsored by CreatingZenSpaces.com. Remember, it's the local choice in St. Petersburg, Florida for house cleaning, organization, decluttering, and pet sitting. It's about finding the peace within you, adding comfort to your life. And remember, guys, Zen Spaces begins with you. Be kind to yourself and one another. Guys, we also have a YouTube channel, the Sports Sir Bradley Walker. All of the episodes will be in their entirety over there. If you guys want to watch them, you can't catch all of the show here. You never know. Everyone has lives out there, and it is busy. But without that, guys, I believe our guest is hanging on the line here. So hang on a minute, guys. We're going to bring both of them on here. Let me change the logo real quick before we do that. There we go. We can do that one. All right. And then we can bring him in. And then we can bring Lewis on. What is going on, guys? Good evening.
Good evening.
How's it going?
Good. How are you, sir?
Oh, fantastic. Thanks for having me on.
I'm lagging.
Very welcome.
No.
So, we got to ask, Lake, the league that you're in, is it a developmental league? What is it as far as football goes?
Yes, the Lake Erie Explosion is part of the GDFL, which stands for the Gridiron Developmental Football League. It is a developmental league. Our goal throughout the league and our team is to take kids out of high school that don't have scholarships and give them an opportunity to develop their skill set and possibly either get college scholarship offers or, in some cases, move on to the NFL or Canadian Football League.
That's cool. Okay. All right.
Like it.
All right. That's cool. All right. Guys, in case you are wondering who our guest is, that is James Ludwick. He is the general manager of the Lake Erie Explosion. He is joining us this evening. It's Jim, it says here that you guys are hosting workouts soon. Is that right? Or you guys started your workouts?
Yes, we're already in the midst of our practices. We're just trying to round out our roster. On February 27th, from 3 to 6 p.m., we are hosting an open practice for all those that would like to come. There is a $25 fee, but that $25 fee goes towards becoming on the roster and your league fees and everything else that is associated with being on the team. With that being said, like I said, it's an open practice. Anybody that wants to come out and try out for the team is more than welcome to come out. So that's that.
So is this your first year of doing it?
Yes, this is my first year being the GM for this team.
How many teams in this league?
Oh, 50.
Okay,
Wow.
cool.
Last time I checked, it's a very big league. There's multiple teams in the Ohio area. There's teams throughout the country.
Okay.
So it's a very big league. It's a very competitive league, and I'm looking forward to this experience for sure.
Can you talk more about the league? What kind of rule set are you playing under?
Yeah.
We play under NFL rules.
Okay.
Meaning, so if a receiver catches a ball, he's got to have 2 feet in bounds. jersey numbers have to go by your position group, just like the NFL is. So for example, in college, you might see 2 number 5s, one playing running back, one playing defensive back or linebacker. In this league, that's not the case. We got to follow NFL guidelines and follow NFL rules so that the jersey numbers match the position group.
Are you affiliated with the NFL in any way?
No. I mean, we have players. We've had a player go on from the league go on and play in the NFL, but we have no affiliation.
So it's not like a done.
Yeah, we're not tied into any team or anything like that.
Okay, cool. Okay. Does that allow you to keep your costs down then, your tryout costs down?
Actually, so the Lake Erie Explosion is an entire organization. There's 2 different departments. There's a pro player development department, which I'm the general manager for, and then we have a youth division.
Okay.
And
okay.
The county that our team is our organization is in is Lorain County. It's one of the poorest counties in the whole entire state of Ohio. So the owner of the organization is a fantastic woman. She's done an amazing job, not just with the football team, but with the organization. Her organization allows kids to come and play football, basketball, little girls to cheerlead at no cost.
Oh, that's awesome.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
So is it 11 on 11 then?
Yes, it's regular football.
Just like, well, I was just wondering because I know some in high school there's places in the country where they play 7 on 7, and because they just don't have enough players in their county to field full teams. So right. I was just curious about that.
No, we play 11 on 11.
Okay.
Kickoff team, punt teams. It's normal football.
Oh, that's cool. Now, where is this broadcast anywhere?
Yeah, actually, if you go to the GDFL website, which is gdfl.org, they broadcast a bunch of the games. If I'm not mistaken, I think every game is live streamed.
Sweet.
So you'll have an ability to watch any
pretty
game.
much all.
Pretty much, yes, sir.
Is that a subscription service or is it free?
As far as I know, it's free.
Okay, very good.
How many games a season do you play?
This season we have 8 regular season games, and then we have 3 preseason games. Our first preseason game is against the Ohio Rhinos on April 17th, so it's right around the corner.
The spring league.
What's that?
So it's a spring league?
It's a spring and summer league, mostly summer. Our schedule starts at the beginning of June, and we'll be finishing up in the first week of August.
Wow.
Okay. So when kids are going back, are transitioning back to wherever because you said you've got some guys that are college age players.
The majority of our roster, I can't speak for anybody else's roster.
No, that's fine. I'm not asking you to.
For the majority of our roster, yeah, it's college level kids. The difference, though, from other semi-pro leagues is we do not pay our players. And the reason why we don't pay our players is because we don't want to affect anybody's amateur status. If somebody's on our team and they get a college scholarship and we're paying them, by NCAA rules, they're no longer an amateur athlete.
Right.
Right.
No matter how much it could be, you could pay them. You could give them a nickel to go buy a soda, and then that's
for the
it.
most. Yes, absolutely.
Actually, it's a quarter.
Yeah. Well, I know the price of sodas has gone up these days.
Right.
Well, I think it's cool, James, that you give an opportunity to these kids, that don't get college scholarships to get a chance to play, to get a chance to maybe go to college and stuff like that. I think that's awesome. That you guys
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at most high school teams, there's maybe 2 or 3, if that, people going on to college to play college football
at any level.
Exactly, at any level. And so not only do we give them an opportunity, we also bring in a college game day type atmosphere. We're gonna have a marching band. We have cheerleaders.
Oh.
We're gonna make this like a college level experience without the cost of college.
Right.
No.
Is there an age restriction on the league?
There's no age restriction, but you do have to be over the age of 18, just because of legal reasons.
Right. You have to sign all kinds of waivers and all that good stuff.
Absolutely.
Parents and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
at 18,
touchdown. Oh, no, dog.
at 18, they don't have to have parental consent anymore. So
Correct.
you get to stuff that. Now, do you have to have graduated high school, or can you still play while you're in high school?
We prefer them to be out of high school.
Yeah.
We don't need any conflicting issues.
Sure.
And for the most part, I think most 18-year-olds are out of high school. It seems like kids nowadays are graduating at the age of 17. I could be wrong.
But I was just asking because I didn't graduate until I was 19. I was held back a year, so I ended up graduating later. So I was just curious about the how that worked.
No, we would prefer them to be out of high school, just so there's no conflicting issues between
I understand
school schedule and
practice and
practice. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, James, after you guys play your 8 regular season games, how do you guys determine your playoff or championship? How do you guys determine that once with all the teams?
Well, I mean, just like any other league, you're gonna have good teams, you're gonna have bad teams. From what I'm understanding, is it just sorts itself out. Everybody that qualifies for the playoffs gets thrown into a playoff bracket, and it works its way down to where we play our national championship game, I believe, in Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh, very cool.
So.
And when is your championship game? Is that the end of August then?
To be honest, I have no idea. I would imagine it's probably mid-September or early October.
Okay, so it's a pretty long.
Yeah, just because there's so many teams.
Okay.
But again, this is my first time in this league, so I'm learning as I go. Also,
can you talk about your experience during the pandemic and getting the job and what allowed you to get this job, or how you were?
Well, how I got the job was there was a flyer for the tryout, and I was like, oh well, I've played football in high school. It's been a few years, but I might as well give it a shot. And then I sent an email. They responded back pretty quickly and said, I'm more than welcome to come to the tryout, but I would need cleats, helmet, shoulder pads, and a bunch of other equipment. And at the time, this was 2 or 3 days away from the tryout, so I wouldn't have enough time to get everything I needed. So I asked if there was any coaching positions or front office positions available, and they mentioned that the GM position was available. And I was like, you know what? I don't have any experience. I don't have any college education for it. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'll ask. I'll see if it's available. See if I can get it.
I played plenty of Madden.
Absolutely. How hard can it be?
Right.
So I was like, you know what? I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
We set up an interview. I went to the interview, met the owner and the rest of the people that are on the board. Excellent, amazing people, and I was lucky enough for them to give me this opportunity.
Yeah, he must have killed that interview.
I did something right.
You did something right? You have to let me in on your secret.
Oh, for sure.
Whenever you figure out what it is.
Yeah, that's for sure. But to talk a little bit more about the organization, if I could.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like I said, we're a nonprofit organization. We don't make any money. All of our money is gained through sponsorships and donations. We have different levels for people to purchase sponsorships. So I just wanted to throw that out there. If you're if you're interested in becoming a sponsor, please email me. My email address is Lake Erie Explosion GM @gmail.com, all one word. Shoot me an email, and I'll be glad to give anybody that information that's interested in being a sponsor.
Absolutely.
And James, is it just the Ohio area, or do you guys have other states too that are in the league?
Oh, it's all over the place. There's teams in Oklahoma. There's teams in Pennsylvania.
Cool. Okay, cool.
There's teams in Tennessee. There's teams.
Cool.
There's teams all over.
I would think probably it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be kind of difficult to have all 50 teams in Ohio.
Yeah, probably.
They'd be competing for players and everything like that all the time.
Yeah.
It's a big state, but not that big.
Not big. No.
Yeah. No.
Texas maybe, but
yeah. Texas has 82 teams probably.
That's a whole other plan altogether. Texas. That's a whole other galaxy.
Yeah, for sure.
And it goes in Texas. It goes football, football, football. Then maybe God, football, football, football. Probably family, football, football.
Absolutely.
Football, then dinner, then football, and then breakfast. Oh.
Yeah. So, are you from Ohio?
No, I'm actually from Michigan. I moved into Ohio in July.
I'm sorry.
It's all good. I've enjoyed it for the most part. I'm here in Toledo. So I mean, it's not that far. I'm only 2 hours away from family, and
that's great.
An hour away from the team. So
that's awesome. It's keeping you busy then?
No, absolutely it is. Right now, my duties are primarily recruiting at the moment. I've had a blast with that. I've come in contact with a lot of amazing people that are willing to help out, and it's been a great experience.
Oh, I bet. Can you talk a little bit about what it's like trying to do this all during Corona?
It's actually not that difficult. I mean, we're taking all of our precautions safely. The practice facility that we go to, everybody is wearing a mask into the building. Once they step on the field, nobody wears a mask. I mean, some players do, but that's their comfort
discretion
level. Absolutely. But for the most part, we're doing everything that we can on our part to make sure that our players are safe and we're practicing in a safe environment.
I'm just curious about the level of struggle that it would be to make sure that you were, complying, because, it's not just so much, you don't want to get the league shut down by the state because, you're not following your guidelines or whatever.
No, we're making sure we are doing everything that we can to make sure we're safe. But there's only so much you can do. I mean, you saw that the professional ranks, they did everything they could, and eventually it got through some of their teams. Yeah. We've just been lucky to have no outbreaks yet or any cases that we know of.
Right.
Yeah. That's what stays that way,
Right.
Absolutely.
Well, and one of the nice things about it is you have a lot of young guys who are, should be relatively healthy, so that'll help.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now, James, when you said you were doing recruiting, do you go to different states or do you stay mostly in Michigan and Ohio? What's your range of recruiting?
I'm trying to primarily stay in the state of Ohio just because, for one, we don't pay our players, we don't provide housing or anything like that. So I would hate to recruit somebody from, say, like Texas and have them come all the way up here and we don't have a house for them or anything like that.
You don't have a secondary job or anything.
Absolutely. So, I mean, we're trying to stay in the Ohio area. We're trying to stay in the area where our team is located, which is, like I said, Lorain County, which is just outside of Cleveland.
Okay.
So we're trying. There's a lot of players. We just got to find them. That's all.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Billy Badass sitting in the stands at a Browns game think he can throw that ball better than Baker Mayfield. Well, why don't you come on down and try out, see if you can do it.
I mean, it doesn't hurt. I mean,
right?
Not either.
What was that?
I'm not crazy about Mayfield myself. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you get all these guys up on their super, on their couch and their third, they got their third pack of ginger ale. And they think they know better than these professionals. Why don't you put your money where your mouth is? Don't play for Lake Erie.
Absolutely.
If I was in the area and I didn't have a bum wheel, I'd come try out.
Absolutely, we'd welcome you. We'd welcome everybody and anybody.
If nothing else, I'd be an assistant coach. I love coaching. I love coaching. I love talking sports and football. That's why I do this show. Great. I want to thank you for being on the show tonight, James.
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure.
Also, if you ever want to come back and give us an update as the season goes on, you're more than welcome to come back.
Give me a message. Set it up.
Absolutely. I will look into it. I will definitely. Maybe we can make it a monthly appearance or something. I don't know.
Whatever your looks like, you just shoot me a message, or Brad or whoever. Shoot me a message. Let us know. If you want to hang out and talk more sports, you're more than welcome to. If you got other obligations, I totally understand.
I've actually got food cooking right now. So But I appreciate you guys having me on, and you guys have a wonderful night, and stay safe, everybody.
See you next time.
Thanks. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That was James Ludwick. That was a pretty cool interview with for that. That was kind of cool, man. I mean, what we should do? We should have talk about that league more often. I think we should get more than one general manager on and try to that would be kind of cool to have. That could be our growth type thing, It could be one of those things where that's our league. We could say that's our league. We cover that league. So if that's cool with you guys, we can. I mean, they have a website. We can go if you want to watch games. I'll try to watch some games, and definitely. It's high school kids, anyone over the age of 18. So to hell, man. I mean, we can have him come on once a month and give us an update on how the Explosion are doing. See if there's any other general managers in any of the other teams. I mean, he said Tennessee, Texas. We can get someone to come on here and tell us about their team in Texas or in Tennessee. So I'm sure.
Definitely. I'll reach back out to him tonight, and I'll see if he can set us up with anybody else that would be willing to or interested in. I'm coaches, players, anybody.
Absolutely, yeah. Doesn't matter. Yeah, they don't have to be a GM. Yeah, he wants to have a player come on here. Shit, absolutely.
Heckin' yeah.
Right. Well, gentlemen, we'll move on to the lovely Daytona 500. And yes, Adam did not have to eat his hat, as he messaged on Sunday night. He did not have to eat his hat on the air.
No, I do not have to eat my hat. Quinhoff did not win the race. But a long shot did win the thing, though, and Michael Excel.
To do it.
I was gonna say, yeah, because
it was a soggy Sunday afternoon into the evening.
Yeah, I was over, Bud. I told you my aunt's a big NASCAR fan.
Yeah,
she's been to Daytona, and actually, the funny thing is, she mentioned to me. I mentioned to her. We talked off air last week about you coming down here, meet me at Daytona. She goes, "You need to go just once. Just go once."
Yeah,
and that's it. So that might happen in the next few years. Just let me know.
I'm hoping so.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Denny Hamlin finished 5th, so he now didn't get the three-peat.
No, he did not three-peat. He looked good in the first 2 stages. Yes. Is that Domino's commercial? I like that one. That's what I was saying last week about the race. It's a crapshoot. You don't know. You don't know until they throw the checker flag who's going to win it, because it's such an event. It's unlike any other sporting event where legitimately there's 38 or 39 different people that can win it in a given week. Unlike a football or baseball or basketball or hockey, where occasionally you have an upset, but it's not. When you get down to it at the end of the, it's such a weird thing, because in the NFL or the NHL or any of the other major 4 pro sports in America, their biggest event is only 2 teams. Right. And, one of those 2 teams is going to be the best team in the league in a given year. NASCAR's biggest event is the first event of the year, and it's a regular season event. It pays regular season points and regular season prize money. And it's the most it's the most important prestigious event in our sport, but yet it's also the most random event in all of sports because you don't know when they drop the green flag at 3:00. We didn't know that it was going to take 5 hours for them to drive the track, and we had no idea that an hour or 3 hours later, Michael McDowell was going to win the sumbitch.
Yeah, and not to mention the 15-car pileup during the race too.
At the beginning of the race, and then you had a scary wreck come out of the 3 when McDowell pushed Keselowski into Logano and triggered another big one. So I was saying, that's why I said there's no clear favorite. You can say Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, pick whoever you want, but I'm not putting any money on this race. It's too risky, and if you put money on anybody, it's a crapshoot. You don't know. I
don't know why you just didn't wait to race on the next day with all that rain and whatnot.
I thought they should have waited until Monday. I thought they should have waited till Monday afternoon, and I know it hurt the ratings overall.
No kidding.
On the whole of the thing, because you had a lot of people that didn't come back at 9:00 because A, they didn't know to come back, and B, it was Sunday night it was 9:00 on the East Coast, so there were 30 or 40 million people, if not more, that had to go to bed, get ready for work on Monday.
Yeah, I don't watch American Idol.
Yeah, and so I didn't even know that was on Sundays.
It is. It started last week.
And so I know the ratings. I saw in the show notes you were saying that the ratings took a hit, but if you watch Out of the Group, as a YouTuber, as a NASCAR, one of my personal favorite NASCAR news guys. I like him better than any of the big guys. You want NASCAR news and a genuine from a NASCAR fan that cares about NASCAR and cares about the fans. And you got to check out Eric Eastop's Out of the Groove every day. They talk NASCAR. It's a great show. I can't recommend it enough. And watch this show first and then go check them out. But he was saying, if you look at the number, the true number was way down because of the rain delay. But the initial numbers, the 3:00, 4:00 numbers, were really strong. You had 8 or 9 million viewers, so you're not too far off from your peak numbers back in 2006, 7, and 8. Yes, a couple million down, but by 2011 they were pulling 11. So from the peak of 14 down to 11, down to 9, which is a rebound from where it had been over the last 5 years. Had the race been green, and had they not had that big pile up, the big pile up really ruined the race because it took 15, 16, 17 competitive cars out of the show, and it made it so you absolutely couldn't get any runs. You had to run single file, or you were going right to the back. You're running 5th in line, and you pull out. You might get up to 3rd, but nobody's going with you, and you're going back to 12th or 15th or wherever you can get in line. And so it just made for a really unwatchable racing Sunday, which is disappointing because the race that I went to in Talladega was an incredible show. They were door-to-door, 3 and 4 wide all day long. They took a 15-minute break to catch their breath, and then they were right back at it. It was incredible. No. He's still looking for Oprah to help him.
The defending finished second, right? Chase Elliott.
Yeah, Chase Elliott finished second.
Okay, he's a
disappointing second. I'm glad I didn't go all the way down to Dawsonville for this weekend's race, though.
Yeah,
because I thought about it. Because they have the pool hall there, and whenever Chase wins, they ring the bell. And I thought about going down there for this week's race and checking getting a race experience down there because I've always wanted to go there and be there for when Chase gets a win. But I chose not to because I didn't have the money, and now I'm glad I didn't because I wouldn't have been getting home until like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I ended up having to call it early and go to bed so I can get up and go to work on Monday.
Right.
So yeah, I had the luxury of being off because that was a federal holiday. So we get
President's Day.
President's Day, yeah. So, but like I said, guys, again, the Daytona 500, being that I live, here in the state of Florida, that's always a big event every year. This is the biggest race I think as far as motorsports goes. This is the race that everyone marks on their calendar every year. Yeah, we do have the St. Pete Grand Prix, but there's a lot of NASCAR fans more than there are IndyCar fans that I see. that go to the races. And again, guys, if you don't know where Daytona Beach, Florida is, it's
in the middle of the ocean.
It's a beautiful, beautiful beach on the east coast of Florida. So yeah, I mean, if you are out of state and you want to come to Florida and not go to the theme parks in Central Florida, and you don't want to go to the Keys in the South, then I would definitely say Cocoa and Daytona Beach are the places to go and visit. But the race is there every February. It just happened to be Valentine's Day this year, so I'm sure there was a lot of people there. How many did they say? How many fans were there?
I heard around 25,000 to 30,000 is what I had heard.
That's not bad.
Well, a lot of waterlogged cardboard too.
Yeah, there you go. Because there was a lot of cardboard at the Super Bowl. So yeah.
Yeah, it didn't rain at the Super Bowl though.
Well, I can just see it now. Daytona, the race for lovers.
Yeah, that's Martinsville, up in Virginia.
Well, it was a coincidence. That was on Valentine's Day, but just a coincidence.
Only a coincidence.
Yes.
So, all right, guys. Well,
yeah.
Before I go, but what's the next race on the schedule?
Is the Daytona Road Course.
Oh, it's a road course back at Daytona.
Yeah, okay. It's the Daytona Road Course where they run the 24 hours of Daytona.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I like Chase Elliott this week. He's the road course king right now. I ain't gonna be chasing Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex. I think that'll be, and I'll throw Kyle Busch in there. I think that'll be your top 5.
All right.
In that order.
Well, again, I'm not going to disagree with you, buddy, because you know more about that sport than I do. So
yeah.
I'm not going against someone who knows the sport better.
By the way, anybody take Chase besides me?
What?
Anybody take Chase to win it besides me?
No, this week at the Roval or at the road course?
Daytona.
The Daytona and the 500?
Yeah, I took Chase.
I like Chase too, but again, like I said at the top of the show or the top of the segment, it's such a crapshoot. You can't tell. You don't know from lap to lap to lap. You know, coming off of 2 headed down the backstretch, it looked like Logano had it in the bag, and then going into 3, Keselowski gets a nose under the 22, and 22 comes down, and it's on from there, and McDowell comes out with the win. Had they gone another 100 foot, and Elliott gets the win, you know, it all depends on where they throw the caution light. You know, throw the caution flag. So it's crapshoot.
Yeah, well, the chase was on anyway, so
yeah.
I would have picked Denny Hamlin. I would like to see someone win 3 in a row. So that's just me. I mean, I like to see something.
I hate Denny Hamlin, but that's just me.
Records are cool to be in any sport. I don't care what sport.
Yeah.
You can set a record, and then it goes from that point of how long will it take until the record gets broken. So. And, of course, there are records out there that we know that probably will never be broken, so that's just a different story.
Yeah, yeah, we need to do a special show about records that'll never be broken.
Yeah.
We can do that. I mean, if you want to do that show next week, we'll go.
Do that.
Yeah, okay. We'll just do that.
Good. Why not?
Just do that next week, then. We'll go through all of them and say, okay, that one will never be broken. Or, that.
We'll go sport by sport by sport.
Yep. To do that. All right.
Sounds good.
Well, gentlemen, there was a UFC event over the weekend. I don't know if there were any big name fighters that were fighting on this card.
I don't even know who's fighting anymore.
I know. I think if I read correctly, Kamaru Usman is on a medical leave.
Yeah, it said like 6 months because of a bad foot.
Bad foot. I saw that.
Yeah.
I was looking up today. I saw that. Did he win or did he?
I'm not sure if he won or he lost. Did he win?
He won.
Yes.
He won.
Yeah.
Yeah. It says knockout TKO round 3 in 34 seconds. So it was in round 3 that he knocked out Gilbert Burns, was the guy he was facing. Okay. And then the other fights, guys, that were on the card, Macy Barber got a decision over Alexa Grasso. I don't know UFC that well, other than the big names.
Yeah, if it's not the big names, I couldn't tell you anything about them. Don't follow.
Yeah, men's middleweight, Kelvin Guzum had a decision over Ian Heishis, if I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. Ricky Simon had a decision over Brian Keller. That was in the featherweight division. And then the main event, I think, was Mika Pitto over Juan Marquez in the submission in round.
Okay.
Yeah, it says Carl Usman faces potential 6-month term for his right foot injury. Okay, so he did knock out Gilbert Burns in the 3rd round. That was his former partner. I didn't know that.
Okay.
Former training partner.
So and now he's looking at 6 months on the shelf because of the foot injury. Well, that's a long time in the fight game.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I mean, in the UFC, you're in deep trouble if you're off for 6 months. Because what do they do?
That's 2 fights.
How long can they go between fights? Is it 3 months?
Generally 3 months, yeah. At least in boxing. I'm not sure about MMA, but in boxing, it's 3 months. They want you to take off at least 3 months.
Yeah, so okay,
in between.
Right.
So like you said, but the next 2 pay-per-views, he'll be out.
Yeah. At least he's going to miss at least 2 pay-per-views, which means that he's probably going to miss 4 or 5 because if he misses. See, if you figure you'd take 3 months off to train for the next one, so you probably wouldn't be at that one. So then he'd be at the one 6 months from now, right? Which means he's going to miss those 2, which means he's going to have to wait. So it'd probably be 9 months before he's ready for another
go around.
Yeah, another bout, which means that's 2 paychecks he's not going to get.
So you're talking if it's 9 months, you're talking November of this year.
Yeah, at the earliest.
At the earliest. Wow.
Yeah.
Long time to be.
6 months from now is
the ring. Yeah.
What is that? Yeah, that's the end of August.
Yeah.
And then
that's a long time.
And that's 6 months to get cleared to get back in the ring. That's not 6 months to get cleared to fight.
Yeah, because it did say that he has to prove to the UFC that foot is healed completely.
Right. Yeah. So you could be looking at 6 to 9 months before he's ready to fight again. If you figure if he gets back in the ring in 6 months, so let's say we're in the end of August, it's going to take him another 3 months to get back into fighting shape. Yep. So you're looking at November at the earliest before he's going to be able to go again.
That's right.
If not longer, if that foot doesn't heal right.
Correct. Yeah, because then let's say he has a month setback, and now you're in December before.
Which could mean you're looking at January or February if there's nothing going on in December.
You could be looking at 2022 before you even see it.
Yeah.
That's
a brutal recovery.
That's insane. That is insane. Well,
hopefully he made some money in that fight.
Yeah, hopefully he did. Well, from one fighting to another one, even though we know all this one is scripted.
But we don't.
Yeah. This Sunday is the Elimination Chamber, which is the last big pay-per-view before WrestleMania, which WrestleMania, guys, is 3 months away in April. It'll be at Raymond James Stadium, where the Super Bowl was at. I don't know how many fans will be in the stands, because usually WrestleMania, you're talking hundreds of thousands of people. But again, with the pandemic, I don't know what's going to happen, how many fans.
Yeah, but
at Raymond.
1,000.
And WWE has been slipping over the last handful of years on their on their state on WrestleMania. If you go back to 2019, it was a pretty poor showing for the brand.
Yeah.
Well, the last time I can remember seeing a decent crowd at WrestleMania was when Daniel Bryan beat Triple H, and then he beat Batista and Randy Orton in the main event in New Orleans. I remember that.
Is that WrestleMania 33 now?
I want to say it was 33. I want to say that was it. And I think, was that 2015 or 2016, I think.
Somewhere in there, yeah, because I think this is 37.
37, I believe, this is WrestleMania.
Yeah, and that would have been 4 years ago, so you're looking at 2017, 2016, somewhere in there, yeah. I just don't follow the WWE like I used to, like I did when I was a kid. I just don't care about it anymore. It's just not anything
Thing is, when you're young, when you're kids, like, you get caught up into it, and then you come to terms like how fake it really is, and you're like, it doesn't appeal to grown-ups like us.
And it doesn't have that same. It's not like a scripted TV show, like like a Game of Thrones or a Walking Dead, where of course that's all scripted and fake, but it doesn't have the same impact that it did 15, 20 years ago. I just don't think that the level of I can't just the acting is so god awful.
Yeah.
Well, and then on top of that, when you lose stars like The Rock and John Cena, it hurts everything.
Yeah. And so, guys age out, when guys start aging out, guys it really, for me, I quit watching around 2013 because it just wasn't, they didn't have the same star power. Guys like, Batista was gone, Cena was getting up there, Triple H had cut his hair, they just weren't badasses anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
They weren't tough guys. And I understand that some of it, I know 90% of it was steroids. It was all fake. And I understand that. That's fine. I'm not saying that it's real. It's still real to me. I understand it's not fake. It's all fake. All right. But for me, there's just no appeal because it's so they don't sell it as a product, as entertainment. I'm not believing it as athletics, and I'm not buying the entertainment. You've got nothing for me, and it's true across the brands. It doesn't matter if it's TNA, WWE, ECW, AEW.
That's the big one.
Mm-hmm. There's nothing, since the Monday Night Wars, since the end of the 90s, since when Raw was Raw.
Yes.
And the Attitude Era and the give no shits and Stone Cold rolling out on a beer truck and spraying down McMahon with beer, and then you look at it now and you try to do that, and if you try, it's not about recreate the moments. You can't recreate that moment of Stone Cold coming out there, the glass shattering. You've got to create something new and invent something new for new fans. You're not going to get me back as a fan. I'm 29 years old. I don't have kids. I don't have, my kids aren't going to be watching WWE anytime soon. There are plenty of other people. You've got to appeal to a younger fan that hasn't seen it yet. And you've got to give them something new. Something they can't go back on YouTube and watch and say, oh man, it was Mankind and Undertaker. Undertaker threw Mankind off the cage and blew everybody's mind. And he got up. And then he threw him to the cage. And he got up. And he threw him to the thumbtacks. And he got up. And and it's just the believability of it all has to be there.
Yeah,
you can tell us till you're blue in the face that it's fake, and you're like, yeah, that's fine. You got all the naysayers out there, and your moms and your grandmas and your annoying bully that telling you WWE's not real, and you're like, yeah, but neither is any of the other stuff we watch.
Well, I was just gonna say,
I suppose we should talk about Elimination Chamber now.
Before we get into that, but I remember you were talking about Austin with the beer truck. I remember seeing Kurt Angle with the milk truck spraying down spraying down.
Was it the Authority?
Not the Authority. It was forget the line. It was the.
Is it the higher power? Was he calling himself the higher power at the time?
Well, it was Team WWE versus Team ECW WCW. So it was Shane.
The Invasion Angle, yeah.
It was Shane and Stephanie. They bought out. Stephanie bought ECW. Shane bought WWE or WCW. And that's the storyline that it was played out.
Yeah, that was the storyline. Yeah.
And then, like I said, Angle came out with the milk truck and sprayed everybody in the ring with milk. And I remember JR going, "That's milk! That's milk!" He's spraying. So that stuff like that is exactly what.
Right. But of course, it plays into Eric Angle's character, Mr. Milquetoast. He's Mr. America. He's this straight-laced, every man, two-time Mr. Two-time Olympian, Mr. America. He's the face of the WWE, and it worked.
Yep, sure did.
But like I was saying back in December, I watched an episode of SmackDown because I just happened to have it on, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, and then there's two guys in the ring, and it was Daniel Bryan and some other guy who I don't care about. The only reason I was watching is because Daniel Bryan was in the ring, and I wanted to see him go, see what he could do. He's like almost 40 now, and I just want to see if he still had it. And they're having this match, and the other guy just keeps climbing out of the ring, and he's not wrestling, and they're not fighting, and they're not doing anything, and Bryan chases the other guy. I think it was Brian Corbin or Baron Corbin or whatever his name is. Chases him backstage, right? And the camera's, out on center stage, and then it cuts to, then Corbin comes running back out, slides in the ring, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, and Brian gets counted out, and they cut back they cut into the locker room, and Daniel Bryan's been laid out by one of the Usos, and I'm like, I've seen this 100 times.
Mm-hmm.
Give me something new, guys.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I saw it in the 90s. It was all throughout the 90s and early 2000s. I've seen it. It's not new. It's not fresh. It's not interesting. Give me something new.
That's because they still have the same writers from that era that are trying to bring. That's what works. They don't want to try anything new.
Yeah. Because it worked 25 years ago and made WWE a household name, and pissed off all of our moms when we tried to RKO our brothers through the kitchen table.
You did that too?
Yeah. Oh, who didn't? It was more of the couch because we didn't want to hurt each other, but we were taking bumps off the couch and hitting each other with pillows, pretending they were steel chairs. But still,
Okay.
Yeah, we may not have thrown each other off the top of the house, but we did some crazy shit back in the day. We took some bumps. And it was.
Well, don't forget, I'm older than you, so
yeah. We may have pedigreed each other through the carpet a couple of times.
Well, my era was Hogan, Piper, Dog, all that.
Right. Old school guys.
Yeah.
Wrestlers, guys that did a lot of hold wrestling, and a lot of hip tosses and stuff like that. I don't hate that era of wrestling. It's all good.
And of course,
double axe handle. That was Jim Duggan, double axe handle. Jake the Snake.
Andre the Giant. Andre the Giant.
I like Andre the Giant. I didn't watch him as a wrestler, but I watched his role in Princess Bride. And he played the Giant in Princess Bride.
Yes.
Yep. Well,
I suppose we should talk about Elimination Chamber.
No, it's okay. Cool. It's cool to get off topic because we're talking about wrestling anyway, so that's cool.
Right.
Right. Elimination Chamber match is Drew McIntyre, who holds the championship. He'll be in the chamber with The Miz, Sheamus, AJ Styles, and Randy Orton, and Jeff Hardy. Now, the prediction, this is from Bleacher Report, they predict McIntyre to come out of the title chamber with the title.
Before we move on to the next, I just want to say, can you go through? So we got Orton, Styles,
Sheamus, The Miz, and Jeff Hardy, and then you have
and McIntyre, the champion. Yeah, five out of those 6 names are guys that are 20 years, that have been in the business for 20 years plus.
Wow.
Shane's pushing 50. Orton's pushing 45. Rey Mysterio's in his early 40s. AJ Styles, the only new guy, but he's not young. He's been in the business for 20 years. And he's mid-30s. Where's the new blood? Where's the young guys? Where's the charismatic up-and-comers that are going to carry the brand in the future? This is what WWE is missing. Where's the Ortons? Where's the next? Of course, you can't have the next Orton. You can't have the next Austin. But where's the guy that's just bringing new blood?
NXT.
But why aren't they on the main roster? If those guys, if you don't have those guys on the main roster, and I know NXT, everybody raves about NXT, tells me that's the best of the brands out of all of them. Between AEW and NXT, it's those are the 2 best brands. I'm sorry, I get hyped up.
No, it's fine. Like I said, I mean, the answer your question, but that's ask Triple H, ask Vince McMahon. I know think the biggest problem with WWE right now is Vince himself.
He's living in the past.
Correct. He doesn't want to bring any of that young, because the funny thing is, okay, if NXT is so great, then why don't you bring those guys up to the roster and let WWE be great and move the next generation of wrestlers in
who can have a career in NXT and be there for 10 years and develop this character, develop their characters, fail. You can fail in NXT 10 times, 15 times, 25 times, 100 times. Yeah. And never, and none of those failures ever make it to TV, right? You get a character that works in NXT and you build him for 3, 4, 5 years and you bring him up to the main roster and you slide him into some storylines and you let him build and you let him build. And, I look at guys like Ryback, who was a really interesting character. I loved Ryback. A terrible worker, a piece of shit dude to work with. Took too many bad bumps, got too many guys hurt, and this is all stuff you can check it out. It's all on YouTube. I'm not talking out. This is what guys like CM Punk and Triple H and Randy Orton. They had several come to Jesus meetings with Ryback backstage, and they kind of buried him when he wouldn't listen. And it's all on YouTube. You can all look it up. You can verify me. You can check my sources. What Culture Wrestling and Wrestling with Regret. So those are my two main sources for wrestling content on YouTube, at least. Because I don't really watch WWE on a weekly basis anymore.
No.
But those guys, the new blood. You look at the guys like, what are they bringing? What's that tag team from the 90s whose name is escaping me now? Not the Road Warriors, the other ones. The Dudley Boys.
Oh, yeah.
They're back. Why? They're in their 50s. They're well past their prime. They've aged out.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
And what's with all these clown wrestlers? What's with all the comedy acts and the silly goofiness? I tune into NASCAR, especially in a race. I get 40 cars going around a track as fast as I can for 3 hours. Turn on a football game, I get 3 hours of football. Turn on a hockey game, I get 3 hours of hockey. Turn on WWE, and I've got 45 minutes of talking heads talking to themselves.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, Ryback has his own YouTube channel now. He's become vegan. Okay, he became vegan, and he has his own vitamin
fitness channel
thing. Yeah, he's got that. But he goes around and tries food around Las Vegas. Like he goes in all places. So it's really, I mean, I've watched plenty of his episodes. He talks about getting back in, how much he hates the WWE. He's suing the WWE for the rights to his name, and all that stuff. So
right.
All that.
You signed the contract, pal.
There's the unfortunate part.
I didn't. What is it?
You inked the contract. So you
are. But
that. I didn't see the contract.
Now trust me, he signed one. He signed one. He signed one a long time ago.
Yep. But no, I just think that there's a lot that WWE could do, and it's an infusion of what both young writers and young talent. They need more younger writers, younger talent. Of course, you got to keep the old guys. You got to keep the old guys. You got to keep. I'm not saying that they can't do storylines with Shane McMahon. I'm not saying you can't do storylines with Rey Mysterio or any of the other guys in Elimination Chamber this weekend. But where's the new guy to latch onto that can build? I know Drew McIntyre is a fan favorite right now. And I know he's really hot. He's really hot. He's white hot. But who else is white hot right now? And where's the merch, man? Where's the freaking merch? In 2000, I was summer camp, Christian summer camp. Every other T-shirt was a W. This is a Christian summer camp, right? This is the height of the Attitude Era. And Adam had a Christian summer camp. Or not, Ruthless Aggression. This is the height of, this long before PG, long before they went in a more family-friendly direction. Every other T-shirt is John Cena, Rey Mysterio, Triple H, DX, and everybody's chopping. And we're at a Christian summer camp.
You were.
Yes. It was dyed in the wool Northern Pentecostal.
Yeah.
It was Holy Rollers, praise you, Jesus, hallelujah, press the mustard.
And then yet you have T-shirts with wrestlers on. Okay.
With all this horrid Trish Stratus and all these skimpy outfitted women and just the debauchery. The debauchery was unbelievable. But of the WWE, and yet nobody cared. Nobody said anything. Nobody thought anything. It was just wrestling. It was fake. It was TV. And we all just went about our lives.
Can I get amen, somebody? Oh, boy.
Hallelujah.
The number one contender elimination chamber match, the winner of the match will face Roman Reigns. So here are the 6 competitors in this one.
Okay.
Kevin Owens, Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, King Corbin, Sami Zayn, and Jey Uso. The prediction is Cesaro. And I know they've been pushing Cesaro for a long time. I know at one time he was partners with Sheamus. They were tag team together, and then he has that that move where he spins you around in a circle. I don't know how in the world he doesn't get dizzy or doing it, but then the person that he's spinning around in a circle doesn't get sick either. So,
all right.
But then the winner of that match will face Roman Reigns, and of course the prediction is Reigns, because why are you going to take the title off of him 2 pay-per-views before WrestleMania?
2? I thought this was the last pay-per-view. Oh, okay. So
you got one more in between. This is the last big pay. I don't know what next month's pay-per-view is prior to WrestleMania, but this is the last big one compared to SummerSlam. So this is like the third. This is about the third biggest one, but because you got SummerSlam, then Elimination Chamber, I think, is the third biggest one of the year.
Okay, I understand what you're saying.
What's the date again?
Elimination Chamber. It's coming up.
No, the day of WrestleMania.
April 17th?
Yeah, something like that. It's
21?
Oh, so after my birthday. Okay.
Yeah, a couple months from now.
After my birthday and after Easter. Okay.
The next match on the card is the Raw Women's Championship match between Asuka and Lacey Evans. Now, they have Lacey Evans winning that. And then the last match, a triple threat match for the United States Championship. You have Keith Lee versus Riddle versus Bobby Lashley, who's the champion. And they have him.
Lashley will probably retain.
Yeah, retaining his.
Would it be Night of Champions be the other big pay-per-view then?
I would say that, or I'm trying to think of the other ones. Yeah, or that or TLC. I know that.
TLC's a big one. What's the brand one? Oh no, it's Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank. Yeah.
It's Elimination. Money in
the Bank winner right now is The Miz. He's the one who won the contract, so he's got the championship
right
now.
So because it goes WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Money in the Bank, and Elimination Chamber, right?
Yeah,
something like that, right?
You could say TLC or Night of Champions would be the fifth.
Yeah, those would probably round out your top 5 of the biggest pay-per-views. I also think the other thing that hurts WWE right now is too many pay-per-views.
They have one a month, yeah.
One a month right now, 12 pay-per-views. If you're thinking about $80 a pay-per-view, that's almost $1,000 a year.
Yeah.
You know, unless you have the WWE Network, well, I think that's like $12 a month. So you save a lot of money, but I don't want to pay $12 a month just to watch one pay-per-view.
No. Well, I mean, if you're an Austin fan, all his podcasts are on the WWE Network.
Yeah, but the best bits from his podcast all end up on YouTube, and so I have to log through 3 hours of schlock to find 45 minutes of hilarity. I mean, Austin's. If you've ever watched Austin does some great. He's a great interviewer. If you want to watch a wrestler who's a great interviewer, I think Austin does a great job as an interview. His Austin tries drinks bits are always hilarious, but yeah, him trying. If you ever want to see something funny, as Austin tries drinks, he did the Sex on the Beach. That was hilarious.
I've never tried that.
I don't drink, so I can't say anything about that.
No, I meant about
yeah.
Oh, you mean that kind of thing? No, there goes the joke. No.
I see
It's a drink.
No, Lewis, that was awesome. The other way would be awesome too, man. So yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, but you get too much. You get stand in places you don't want it.
Yeah, that's true. Oh boy.
Very.
Remember, folks, the jokes are ad-lib, not scripted.
Yes,
yeah, of course.
Ad-lib, correct.
Well, mine anyway.
Yeah. Well, I don't script anything.
No,
I probably should. It'd make the show run better.
Well, I didn't tell you. I got you guys have heard the website Cameo, right? Where you have celebrities do cameos for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had Linda Cohn do one for me. I'll have to play it for you guys sometime.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty cool because again, she's a sports reporter. I wanted to kind of get what I asked her is give me some inspirational words before I go on the air. I'm just curious what she was going to come up with. Like I said, next week, guys, I'll play it for you because I'll share it to here and I'll play it for you guys. That way you guys can hear what she had to say. But we can move on, guys. The Australian Open is going on. I think it goes on while we are all sleeping because Australia's like 12 hours ahead of us or the next day.
Yeah, I said 12 hours in the 12 hour. It is 9 o'clock in the morning in Australia right now.
I say they're 12 hours ahead of us. Because actually I had a guy call my show once. He goes, "Yeah, Brad, it's already Friday here already." I'm like, "Oh, you're come and call me from the future because I'm Friday in Florida. It's only Thursday. So, again, guys, if you did not know today, or I guess it was earlier today, Serena Williams lost match. She was not happy in the press conference, from what I've heard.
Yeah, she kind of threw a temper tantrum and stormed out. Yeah, that was not a good look.
Now wait a minute. Before I get, of course, we know there are two of them, but did she also have the problem with the line judge, or was that Venus that had the problem with the line judge?
I think it was Venus. I don't remember.
I mean, both of them, they're both tennis players, but they are so high strung.
I mean, I think
the game.
I think I've often thought that to be a great athlete, you had to be high on something.
No, I mean high strung, like emotional, and you get.
Yeah, no, you had to be. You've got to wear your emotions on your sleeve, and you've got to be unlikable to be a great athlete. I think. I mean, look at Michael Irvin or Michael Jordan or Tom Brady.
I was gonna say McEnroe, but okay.
McEnroe's a great example. I mean, Federer.
Give me that ball was out.
It was in.
I had to do it.
Well, I mean, okay, let's go back and think about that now. You were talking about John McEnroe, so what about
Connors?
Well, Jim Connors was an emotional guy too. Who was John McEnroe's rival when he was a rookie? Yes. Who did he play in Wimbledon a couple times? They called him Fire and Ice. Like, who the heck was the other guy that he played against that won like 5 Wimbledon titles? Now I can't think of his name now. Gosh darn it. Bjorn Borg. Thank you. That's who I'm.
Yeah, Borg.
He never really showed any emotion. He was just as cold as ice. That's what they told him. I mean, I watched.
It had to be. I mean, I didn't think that people would want to see somebody emotional on the corner and break down. Like, I don't think people want to see it or even watch on TV because, I think people get turned off by that.
Yeah,
you're going to go like a stark raving lunatic.
McEnroe had it. McEnroe. I mean, I don't know. I can't name any other players but McEnroe from the 70s. So I mean, he did something right.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. Well, John was. He wasn't afraid to say anything. I mean, what did he call the line judge? You're an idiot or something like that.
I believe he cussed him out and got suspended a couple of. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Well, it says real quick. It says Williams said, "I'm done." When she struggled to answer questions about her performance in her 6-3, 6-4 loss, 39-year-old looked visibly emotional after being asked whether she was waving farewell for good to the crowd at Melbourne Park in Australia. So I don't know. Would you guys say this is the last time we've seen Serena at the Australian Open?
At Australia, yeah, probably.
Okay.
I think she pares down her and probably just plays U.S. tennis tournaments from here.
But she has a daughter too. And she's
a very young child.
Yeah,
she's like 2 or 3 now.
Wait, just Australia or majors altogether? Because she's trying to she's on the brink of breaking a record, and I think she wants to try to break it. So I don't think it's done yet. I mean, you got the French Open coming up in late May, and then maybe Wimbledon. So I don't think sometimes when you lose, when you let our emotions get the best of us, like in a major, they're like, oh, I was so close to it, and I let it slip away, and then I get so distraught and everything. I'm like, and then
I'm done. I'm never doing this again.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that, but that happens to me when I get something wrong done too. But
no, I just meant in the heat of the moment.
Oh yeah,
in the heat of the moment, you're like, I'm done. I'm not doing this. It's over. I quit. I'm done. Well, and I don't know how much of that was she was done with the press conference or she was done with tennis.
Well, I was at the press conference and be like, if I was like that, I don't know if I would want to talk to the press in that.
I know, right?
I'm like, just leave me alone. Just leave me. I had a bad match. I screwed up. Okay, just let it be. Just let me get like about 3 days rest, and I'll be back.
Yeah. I never understood that. When you lose and you have to go face the media, like why?
Yeah.
What you want to talk to me about? What I lost.
I lost.
I don't have anything. I don't have anything constructive or nice to say right now.
The other team beat me. The other player beat me. What do you want me to? What you want me to have a meltdown in front of you? Is that what you're? I mean, guess that's what I would do if I go in. I'm going. Oh yeah, I got my ass kicked. What do you want me to tell you? What do you want me to say? I mean,
I lost. I don't know what you want me to tell you.
You saw the match. Come on. What more do you want me to say?
Yeah, I mean, that's what John Tortorella used to say all the time. Like, what do you want me to tell you?
Right.
We lost. What do you?
They called me a dumbass.
Right. Yeah. Bill Belichick. We're on to the next one.
Yeah.
We're on to the next one. It's over. Can't do anything about it. We lost.
Yeah. Popovich is the same way. He'll never give any information. Yeah. He was always that way.
Yep.
I think him and Belichick went to the same school of interviews.
Well, I think they had the same brain. You know, they were.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Never given.
Speaking of Popovich
in the NBA.
Like a little association.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I saw this article, and I don't know, I didn't want to put it up here, but I thought, you know what, I'll get you guys' opinion on this, because, again, it does have to do with the coronavirus. There are many of the top NBA players that are hesitant to promote the vaccines, excuse me, because there's more than one.
One vaccine, multiple doses.
Yeah, should it matter whether they promote it or not? I mean, to me, it doesn't really matter to me.
No.
It becomes available to me. But again, I don't know what you want these guys. Again, just talking about what do you want these guys to say? Oh, it magically works.
Oh, wow. Sign me up. No, it doesn't work that way.
I don't want them to talk out their ass and say something that the brain knows better.
Right.
I've seen too much misinformation and too many lies about just vaccines in general that I would rather not have celebrity endorsements. There's too much at stake and too much riding on it. And as much as celebrities are heralded in this country in a way, they're also derided. And if you get a whole bunch of hotshot NBA stars who are all healthy and all young coming out and saying, "Oh, get the vaccine," or or even maybe I don't want them questioning it either. The efficacy of it and the effectiveness and the reasons why. Sometimes it's best to just leave it alone.
Right. Okay.
Because they're not scientists, they're not doctors, they don't have 10 years, 15 years of medical school and 10 years of practice in the real world. They're basketball players.
Right.
They don't need to be out here trying to convince the public. That's what we have doctors for, and that's why they have people that went to school for medical information and scientific information to be able to disseminate to the general public the importance of getting your shots and being a responsible adult. And you put these NBA players up on a pedestal. And you try to, and there's plenty of Americans that don't like the NBA, don't like the direction the NBA has gone in the last couple of years with their political stances, which I'm not going to get into. But there's a lot of people that would tell the NBA that an NBA endorsement would turn them off. People who would otherwise be willing to do the right thing and get the vaccine would be turned off by an NBA endorsement.
Yes.
Well, I mean, it looks like, guys, there's only one game on, I should say there's one game currently live. The other two are coming on in about an hour. But the Raptors are leading Milwaukee 58-41. And then later on, you have Brooklyn and the Lakers, and you have Miami and Sacramento late.
Okay.
Those are the only three games I see this evening. Then you have
Miami. Ugh.
Turnover.
Yeah, lots of injuries.
Killing them, and that too. Injuries and turnover.
Well, that'll happen every time.
Yeah, that'll do it to you.
Yeah, but I mean, you're the defending Eastern Conference champions, and this year you're, in the toilet.
Yeah.
They're struggling big time.
Very much so. I don't even know who I like out of the East right now. Probably Milwaukee.
Let's take a look real quick at the standings real quick and see
where
everybody sits currently.
Yeah, more hockey. I love hockey.
Let's see. All right, so now in the Eastern Conference, the top 8 teams in the East are Philly, Brooklyn, Milwaukee, Indiana, Boston, the Knicks, Raptors, and the Hornets round out the top 8. Then you have
the Raptors have moved up to 7.
7.
Wow.
Yeah. Then you have the Bulls, Hawks, Heat, Magic, Wizards, Cavaliers, and Pistons round out the bottom 15, the last in the league. And then the Western Conference, it is Utah, the Lakers, the Clippers, the Trailblazers, Suns, Spurs, Warriors, Nuggets round out the top 8. And then it's the Grizz, Mavericks, Kings, Pelicans, Rockets, Thunder, Timberwolves are the bottom. So I think Milwaukee has the worst record in the league. Yeah, Milwaukee's the worst team in the league. Didn't they have the number 1 overall pick last year?
Yes, they did.
You mean Minnesota?
It's not Minnesota, not Milwaukee.
I'm sorry, my bad. Sad. Yeah, Minnesota. The Timberwolves. They had the first pick last year.
Yes, it's just going to show you though that just because you get the top draft pick doesn't mean you're going to be a success.
No.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah. Well, that is it, guys.
I don't do it wrong, but still.
For the NBA, let me go ahead and move on to the.
Remember, I'm left-handed.
Nothing wrong with that. My best friend's left-handed.
No, but I was trying to do the loser sign. And everybody thinks I do it wrong. Loser. Yes. Okay.
So now we'll move on, guys, to the National Hockey League.
L7 loser.
So let me ask you guys. So who do you think is the most bitterest rivals in the National Hockey League? And it doesn't have to be. It would have to be any time. What do you guys? Who would you say would be the biggest British rivals in all time?
Toronto, Montreal.
Boston, Montreal, Calgary, and Toronto.
The top one is Boston. The top one's Boston, Montreal. They've met 927 times. Their first series was in 1924 to 25. I don't think they won't play each other this year because of the COVID issues.
Right.
Then the next one would be Detroit, Toronto. They played 189 times over the years. Then it's Boston, Toronto. Go ahead.
But Detroit and Toronto aren't bitter rivals right now. At least they really are.
Well, they don't play each other. I mean, they don't play each other this year. They won't.
No.
Yeah.
Even though they'll put right next to each other.
Yeah. Back in the early 90s, Wendell Clark and Bob Probert. And
I would say Boston, Toronto would be a good one. They don't like each other.
Yeah. Boston, Toronto is a huge one.
Yep.
Pittsburgh and Philly.
They
New York and Philly.
They have Montreal and the Rangers as the 4th.
Well, why not? The original 6.
Then they have the Hawks and the Leafs. They have the Wings and the Canadiens, the Rangers and the Leafs again. Blackhawks and Montreal, Boston and Detroit, which that would be something to see. Boston, Chicago. I know they don't like each other. Neither one of those teams.
No, I hate Chicago.
Detroit, New York, the Wings and the Rangers. The Hawks and the Rangers, and the Hawks and the Blues. I know they don't like each other. And Dallas.
God, no.
And then the last one would be the Red Wings and the Blues. Now, I would have to say I agree with that one. I know those two teams don't like each other at all.
No.
Yeah.
So.
Not back in the day.
They say that the most bitter rival is between Boston and Montreal. That seems to be the one that.
I always said Boston, Chicago, but okay.
Okay. Well, I mean,
I always think the Battle of Alberta, Calgary and
yeah. But here's some
Calgary and Toronto, right?
Here's some of the current ones. So let's look at these right here. Tampa Bay and Boston, I would agree with that. They Then they have the Lightning and the Avalanche. I don't really know how that would be one because they don't play each other that often.
No, but remember, they did play each other in the finals.
Right, correct. Well, I think that if Colorado hadn't got hurt,
Edmonton
would have been the team that would have played the Lightning this year last year.
Yeah.
I think it would have been them, not Dallas. Nothing against the Dallas Stars; they have a hell of a team. What I'm saying is, I think Colorado would have gotten there had they not gotten injuries. They had gotten.
Yeah, they would have didn't bet them. Colorado's a very good team. I've watched a couple of games.
Yeah, they were selected to do well this year, but
I think the most bitter rivalry in the NHL is the Battle of Alberta, Edmonton, and Calgary. Yeah, that's always a brutal match.
Fair enough.
Especially big guys back then.
You would think that it would be two Canadian teams anyway, because again,
yeah, you would think. It's just I just think that's the most brittle rivalry in all of the NHL right now.
Well, guys, there is good news, especially in the National Hockey League. You have COVID-19 numbers are on the decline, and that's a good thing.
Yeah,
thankfully.
Finally.
League-wide. There will be a game happening outdoors, and they say that it says event owes nod to Mystery Alaska. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie.
Yes.
I have not. I didn't know it was a movie.
It's a good hockey movie. It's a really good story.
Oh, God, it's a great movie.
Miracle. That's my all-time favorite sports movie before I was born. So.
Yeah, that's my favorite sports movie.
The Miracle on Ice game was, if I could go back in time and see a sporting event live where I was born, that's my number one destination.
That would be right up there.
Lake Placid. So, but if you do, I would definitely recommend seeing Mystery Alaska. It's like I said, it's Russell Crowe is the main character, and it's a really like humble town in Alaska, and they welcome in the New York Rangers to play an outdoor game. So I won't give it away because a bunch of stuff happens, and to get them to come to, it's just all kinds of weird things. You got Mike Myers, Phil Esposito's in the movie.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they've got some NHL guys. So here's the scoreboard. We'll go through the scoreboard real quick. You have the Devils over the Bruins 3-1 in the third period.
Got that game on right now.
The Rangers are up 2-1 over Philly in the third.
That's the game I have on.
Pittsburgh is up 3-0 over the Islanders in the third period.
Oof.
Columbus is up 2-0 over the Predators in the third period.
Yeah.
Toronto is beating Ottawa 6-3 in the third period. Washington is up 3-1 over Buffalo.
Okay.
In the third, the Blues and Sharks are tied at 1-2. And then you have the Kings up 1-0 over the Coyotes. The Minnesota-Anaheim game starts at 10, and the Lightning-Dallas game has been canceled not only today, but also on Saturday due to the power outages in the state of Texas with that snowstorm that is crazily moving to the southeast part of the United States. My state, where it's warm.
A snowstorm in Texas stopped the hockey game.
Well, the problem is, fellas, listen. See, Texas is not used to getting a lot of snow, and they don't know how to handle this stuff. I mean, if they get like an inch or two, they're in a panic mode. Like, oh my goodness, it's an avalanche already. Oh my God, we got buried down. Like, oh, you shut up, you're a bunch of wussies.
I can vouch for this. Being here in Florida, Lewis, once it turns like 50, the store starts selling firewood when it turns 50.
I would say you had to put up
dead serious.
You sacrifice a virgin to the volcano.
Yeah. So at least the games didn't get canceled due to COVID, and it's
finally
that gets in the way this time. So at least
I mean, like with Buffalo, I mean, they're used to the snow and the cold, and they rarely get games canceled because of that, unless it's like 36 inches or whatnot. It takes something.
There was a game in the mid 90s or late 80s that there was they had like 538 people actually show up for the event. They had to delay 2 hours. It was I forget, it was New Jersey. It was New Jersey and Buffalo.
It was
this Devils and somebody. Was it Buffalo? Boston?
I know.
And they had
312 people.
Yeah. It was 312. And they ended up having to delay the game 2 hours because they didn't have enough officials.
Right. Well, actually, they didn't bring up Long Johns at the game, so they had
well.
Oh, boy.
So again, now guys, we've arrived in spring training is on the rise. I guess it started. The catchers have
on the horizon.
Started to here. So here is what some of the writers are predicting who will be. Okay, I'm going to give you 3 shoo-in teams for October and 3 teams that will not make it till October. This is what they're predicting. Again, it's not my choices. They have the Dodgers, Yankees, and Padres as shoo-ins in October, and the 3 that are not are the Pirates, Rockies, and Orioles. Are the 3 that are predicted to be there in October. So that's who they have.
I don't like the Padres.
No, Padres.
I'm gonna put Atlanta in there.
The Braves, okay.
Yeah,
I do too.
And I don't think those 3, the bottom 3 won't make the playoffs now.
There's one of the writers that says that there's 0.0 chance the Baltimore Orioles make it to the playoffs.
I don't think that. Come on, guys. It's a little less. It's not charitable.
It's not rocket science, people.
That's what I mean.
Baltimore is a very bad baseball team.
Yeah, massive rebuild. They're in the middle of a massive.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you look at the division that they're in, I think it's going to come down to Toronto, Tampa Bay, and New York. I think 3 teams vying for the AL East. The Boston Red Sox are out of it. I don't know what they're doing in Boston, and
I have no idea. I haven't heard any movement in Boston.
Baltimore's a lost cause.
Baltimore's a lost cause. I mean, if you guys, let me pull up all the divisions. We can go through them real quick.
Yeah. This will be on my show Saturday too. So
let's predict. Yeah, let's predict or go through them, and then you guys can give me what you think will be this year. Of course, there's been a lot of trades, obviously.
Yes.
That have been recently.
Freddie Tatis there in
signing a big contract with San Diego. Yep.
Yeah. 14 years, $340 million.
Something like that. So okay,
those are albatross contracts.
So again, Tampa Bay, New York, Toronto, Baltimore, Boston. That was last year. So are the Red Sox going to be better than Baltimore? I guess no. No. Okay.
Yeah, slightly.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
I'm gonna go. New York and Tampa Bay come out of that division.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Then you have the Central. That's the Twins, Indians, White Sox, Royals, and the Tigers.
I'll take the Twins.
Okay.
I don't think anybody else makes it out of that division. I'll take the Twins.
Indians.
Yes, Cleveland. Okay.
The Tribe.
I'm gonna say Minnesota too because
I like what they're doing up there.
Who's their manager now?
Oh, I forget.
Rocco Baldelli. Used to play.
Yeah.
Right, Baldelli.
Yeah.
Okay, so the AL West guys is the A's, Astros, Mariners, Angels, Rangers.
I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna take the Angels.
The Angels, okay. All right.
I like the Angels too. I'm not going for a bunch of cheaters. So
I just don't think. I think Houston's is due for a decline.
You know what? I'm going to agree with both of you. I like what Joe Madden does. I think he'll get that on track. I think it's going to be them or the A's. I don't see Houston. Seattle's in too much of a rebuild in Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of on a rebuild.
No, Texas is a bad team again.
Never showed in 2011 to win the World Series. They have not been the same team.
Yep.
One strike away, and then
yep.
I saw it live. I was sick.
They lost to the Cardinals, right? Is that who beat them?
Yep. On a home run, Game 6, a home run in the 11th inning by David Freese. I'm like, oh, no.
It's back. It's gone.
And we'll see you later tonight.
Yep. It's back. It's gone. We'll see you tomorrow night.
I was like,
Buck was the most enthusiastic call of all time.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Jack did better.
Yeah, Jack was great.
Jack was better.
Much better.
What I just saw.
Jack called the Cardinals games, right? That's who.
Yeah. He was the same.
Jack
Louis guy. Yeah.
And the Gibson home run in the World Series.
Well, that was Vince Scully.
Radio broadcast.
Oh, was he on the radio?
Okay, radio. Okay, right.
It's gonna be a home run. I can't believe what I just saw. Gibby pumping around first. It was incredible.
Yeah.
On two bad legs.
Bad knees, man.
All
you gotta do is hit, man.
That's it. That's all.
Okay, I'll give you a home run. Sure, here we go. See you.
The late Tommy Lasorda took that.
Yeah.
The late Tommy Lasorda.
All we need is a home run. There was only two outcomes. It was either going to be a strikeout or a home run.
That was off David Eckersley, right?
I believe so. Yeah. Yep. I believe it was a 2-2 count.
I want to say he
was it 3-2? Was the count full?
He found him a couple pitches before he got the pitch that he hit out of the park.
Yeah. Yeah, he good times.
Yeah.
We'll switch guys to the National League, and then you have you got the Braves, Marlins, Phillies, Mets, and the Nationals.
I will take the Phillies.
Okay.
No, not the Phillies. I mean the Braves.
The Braves. Okay.
Braves.
Yeah.
And I'll circle back around, and I may go back and take the Phillies too, but I'm going to take the Braves.
I'll take Atlanta as well. You know what? I'm going to go on a limb because I live in the state of Florida. I'm taking Miami as being one of those surprise teams this year.
No wild card?
Wild card team. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I can believe that. They've done some nice things down there.
Possibly the Mets. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing in New York.
Yeah. We'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see. Miami made the playoffs last year, so.
Correct. The Central is the Cubs, Cardinals, Reds, Brewers, and the Pirates.
I want the Cardinals.
Cubs. Okay. I'm
Mm.
taking the Redbirds. I'm taking the Redbirds in this one. I'll take.
I like what they did bringing in Aaron. I can't say his name.
Aaron Aldonado.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the NL West, where the defending World Series champions call home. The Dodgers, Padres, Giants, Rockies, and the Diamondbacks.
I'm gonna take the Dodgers and the Padres.
I agree. I'll take those two. Yep, I would agree with that.
Dodgers and I'm gonna go on a limb. I'm gonna say the Rockies.
The Rockies.
No, the Rockies are terrible. They have absolutely nothing. They've dumped all their payroll. They have nobody. Arenado was the last good piece they had.
They got Charlie Blackmon. He's the only one that's left.
Yeah. I don't like the Rockies unless they've got something cooking that I don't know about. I'm a seller on the Rockies.
Well, go watch the urinating tree video about the Rockies. They'll tell you exactly.
No, I knew there was somebody. I knew I'd watched the video about the. It was the urinating. Yep. Yeah, that's why I'm not. No, it's a fire sale in Colorado. I am not. Hey, if that's the. Yeah, I'm not telling you. I'm saying. I'm just saying. I ain't saying, but I'm just saying.
Okay.
You know what?
Hey, if that's be bold, man. Have another Ducati, baby. Be bold, but
I'll be honest with you. Let's see if we can get somebody like that on here. That would be cool to have him come on here.
I would
conversation with us. Yeah.
If I knew how to reach out to him and get a hold of him, I'd try.
Well, I mean, the only thing you can do is try to direct message him on Facebook.
I could drop
and try and see what he says. See what he says. So.
Yeah, I drop a comment on his YouTube channel.
That's it. That's it. Well, gentlemen, we have arrived. The big game was last week. Obviously, now we don't have anything to really talk about now until April when the draft comes roaming around.
I'm sure we can figure something else. Something.
Well, I'm sure you guys have heard the story about the daughter of the guy who created the trophy. Yes. Who wants an apology from
Piss off.
Tom Brady. So, yeah, I had to put that in there.
She can piss off as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
It's not yours.
Did she not see when Gronk dented it with a baseball?
Apparently not.
I guess that didn't bother her. I mean, I don't know.
It's not yours.
No, it's not. Yeah, exactly.
It's not the team. Trophy. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, it's not your trophy.
It's not your trophy. You didn't win it. You didn't earn it. You don't get to decide. No.
I read a couple Facebook comments. They're like, "Oh, would you imagine what would have happened to that trophy? I'm sure some hookers come on that trophy."
Yeah.
Like, what are you worried about it being tossed from a boat for? Now,
right.
I think it would have been absolutely funny if he didn't make it and it fell in the water.
That would have been hilarious.
That would have been.
Can you imagine having to freaking get the Tampa Bay dive team out there to go retrieve it?
Just the trophy out of the water.
Yeah.
In Tampa Bay.
The dive team would throw Brady in the water to go get it. Like, I don't know how deep Tampa Bay. I'm not sure how deep the bay is, but
put him in the diving gear. Okay, now you dropped it. So
you dropped it. You get to pick it up.
Yeah.
So, right at the end of that article, someone said, "Of course, we can only wonder how she would feel if her dad had designed the Stanley Cup." Because we can only imagine what has happened in the years that trophy has been given and where it's been and what's been inside of it over the years.
Right now.
And beer and wine and whiskey. And, I mean, it's been everywhere, man. I mean, there were several years where it was lost, like completely in the 30s. It was totally gone. It's been dropped in.
Right.
It's been dropped off of bridges. It's been in space. It's been everywhere.
Of my house.
Well, it's never been in my house, but I wouldn't turn it down.
I've seen it. I've never touched it. I've seen it in person.
I've seen it. Yep, I've seen it in person.
I didn't actually touch it, but just hit the roof of our house. That's all.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, just think about that.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, the cup. The cup's been all over the world. It's been touched by God knows how many people, touched in different ways. I'm not going to go there.
With all kinds of appendages.
Child friendly, gotta keep it family.
Yeah.
On this show.
Yeah, gotta keep it family orientated. Can't go there. But yes, so I mean,
who knows what appendages? What appendages have? Of course, fingers. Fingers.
Yeah. And other things too, but that's just different story. No, I mean, I thought it was stupid. I saw the story when it broke that she wanted an apology. I'm like, okay, is it just a Tom Brady thing? Is it a Tom Brady hatred that you have that she would just come out and say, "Oh yeah, you owe me an apology"? Okay. I don't know for what, but okay. Didn't go in the water. If it had fallen in the water, then yeah.
Then we got a problem.
Well, I don't understand either. I don't get I don't. Whatever.
It is weird.
Losing 2 nights.
Okay, Karen, be quiet.
There you go. Just gonna say, there's the keyword right there, Karen.
Yeah. All right, Karen, be quiet. No one asked you.
Go back to your hole until next year when the Super Bowl comes back out, and we can talk about that. Let's see who something to it next year. When next year. Next year next year somebody should spray Easy Cheese on it and lick it off. That would be fun. That would be.
Now what?
Yeah. That would be. Well, if you guys didn't see, there was a big trade that went down today.
It was a good trade too. I'm really happy with that.
Sure. So
I really think I think both teams made out well in that deal.
Okay. So the Eagles got a 3rd-round pick and a conditional 2022 second round that could turn into a first. Correct? Okay,
correct.
That's reading. All right. So
and I'm really digging on that because they didn't the Colts didn't have to overpay for Wentz. I was really afraid that they were going to have to mortgage the farm to get him.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, and I think he'll do well there if he can stay healthy.
I do too. Yeah.
They got a good running game.
Yep. A great running game, a good defense, a great head coach.
The one person they got to bring back though is who's their wide receiver? T.Y. Hilton. They got to bring him back. If they can get him to come back.
Yeah. Or pick up somebody in the free agency. They could. I've heard rumors and rumblings that AJ Green is going to be going to Baltimore, but I could see him being on the move to Indianapolis too. That'd be a good fit.
I've heard, Bud, here locally that it's going to be Chris Godwin that goes to the Colts.
Ooh, that would be brutal. That would be a huge loss.
Yep, that's what I heard. Because again, the Bucs have 3 big free agents that they have to re-sign: Shaq Barrett, Levante David, and Chris Godwin are their big 3. So if you only sign 2 of them, you would think you'd want to go defense. Barrett had a huge playoffs.
Monster year. Monster.
Well, Vontae David's been with the franchise forever.
He's an anchor on that defense.
Yeah, he's been through so many losing seasons. And he could be that mentor to Devin White. And White blew up this year, too. Devin White was out this year. So, again, it seems like Godwin would be the odd man out. Again, we'll see, who the Bucs bring back. And then, of course, with Tampa Bay, you have Sue that needs a new contract. Obviously, Gronk. Antonio Brown's another one that's a free agent. So they got to bring all these guys back.
Those 3 I'm more willing to let walk than I would be the other 2.
Okay.
I'd be willing. I don't know if Grant comes back and plays another year. I could see Gronk calling it a career. I could also see Sue hanging him up.
The only thing about Gronk is with Tom being here, I think he plays until Tom hangs it up.
Exactly. Because they can't go one or the other either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think those 2. I mean, the thing with Sue, I think he made $10 million or $8 million this year. Mm-hmm. He's not going to make that. He'll make maybe 3 or 4 this year. I don't see they can't
maybe
him.
If anything more than that, you let him go.
Well, now the Eagles will have a $33.8 million dead cap hit, so they're the ones who really got.
They got hosed on that. They should have made the Colts should have had to take his salary.
Now,
I would have given up. I would have given up the conditional 2nd-round pick to have them take his salary.
Do you think that favorites Indianapolis to win the AFC South this year?
Potentially, but it all depends on what Tennessee does.
Yeah,
with King Henry. Okay. All right.
Yeah, because there's
see what Derrick Henry does.
Because I think Houston's in trouble. You got no J.J. Watt.
Yeah, J.J. Watt's gone.
Sean Watson was out. He didn't want to play for them anymore.
Yeah.
I, for the life of me, think he's going to end up in Miami. I think they're gonna trade. I think they trade Tua to Houston, and he goes to Miami.
Straight up.
Trade. Again, I could be wrong. It's just what I've been hearing, and I cover the Dolphins on my Monday show, so you get to read what's going on in the down in the Sentinel and all of those newspapers that are in South Florida. But I mean, I have a funny feeling, and maybe not a straight up trade. Maybe there'll be some picks because the Houston wants 3 first-round picks to get Deshaun Watson.
2 first-rounders. I heard 2 first, 2 seconds, and 2 defensive starters. That's the last thing I had heard.
So
that's a king's ransom for a court jester.
Yes,
you're like you just said, but you're mortgaging the farm. You're mortgaging your team to get one guy, and if he doesn't work out, one guy who's been decent but not a world beater. Right.
I'm not saying that. Don't get me wrong. Deshaun Watson is a great player, but he's not. He's not worth 2 first rounds, 2 second rounds, and 2 defensive starters.
Yeah.
No.
I agree with that. I agree. I see Wentz doing very, very well. I think getting out of Philadelphia, putting on a new uniform, I think that's going to do well for him. And like we were just talking, they have Taylor, Marlon Mack will be back. They have a good running game. They have one of the best defenses in the AFC too. So that's going to help.
Yep.
That's going to help. And again, there you got a coach in Frank Wright, who actually wasn't supposed to be coach there. It was supposed to be Josh McDaniel, and Josh left with New England, and Frank took the job, and he seems to be the right fit for the job because he seems to be
absolutely
so well. I mean,
he's got them playing good.
Well, and then think about this: they lost Andrew Luck. I mean, they had Andrew Luck there, and he retired. And Wright just says, "Okay, no problem. We'll figure it out."
Moving on. Yep.
We'll figure it out, and he's been able to do that so far. So I think both teams did win because again, those picks could turn into good stuff for Philadelphia in the long run.
But they're not. But you don't have to give up so many picks that you're bankrupting your future.
Right. And then again, I guess they drafted Jalen Hurts last year, so that's going to be their quarterback of the future.
Yeah, he's the quarterback of the future.
So obviously, that's who they're going to go with. I don't know who their backup, is. now?
Yeah, Duck Hodges, I think, but I'm not sure.
Okay. I mean,
right.
We'll have to wait and
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
If you finish the show before I get back, that's fine. If not, I'll be back.
All right. I was going to say, if you look at another one of those disgruntled quarterbacks, Lewis, you can look at Russell Wilson. What are your thoughts? Do you think he stays in Seattle, or do you think he gets out?
I think he's going to get out. I mean, I hear a lot of rumors that he's going to get out. So,
okay.
The question is, what will Seattle do without him? Because he was their top man. So, I think Seattle might be sunk without him.
Well, if they're gonna hold on to him, obviously they're gonna have to improve their offensive line, because he's been sacked more times than any other quarterback in the last, I think, 5 years. He's been sacked more than anybody. So if you want to keep him around, then you better draft some offensive line or get some offensive line help at free agency.
Yes,
help him. Then you got Aaron Rodgers. There's another guy that is in his last year of his contract, so I don't know if he will, he'll play after this year in Green Bay or he'll move on. That's a good question. That I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think you see him playing in another uniform, or do you see him staying in Green Bay till he retires?
Well, you mean Rodgers?
Yeah, Rodgers. Yep.
Yeah, I think it's all staying here in Green Bay. That's his territory. He's not going to pull off like a Montana, from going from the 49ers to Kansas City. That's not going to happen. So I see him staying here. I mean, Mr. Rodgers' neighborhood is in Green Bay, not anywhere else.
Right. And then do you think that Drew Brees has played his last game?
Yeah, I do. I mean, he's so banged up and everything. But then again, on the other hand, well, I'm kind of torn, actually. I mean, a lot of things say, he might be because, he's past his prime. But the way he went out, the way that ended, I don't think he wanted to go out that way, in the playoff game, because they should have won that game anyway. Of course, they got cheated by, what's his name? Of course, he's going to play the footballs. So, I don't think he wanted to go out that way. So I think I do see him one more year. And remember, boys and girls, who cheat? Always a cheat.
Well, I mean, if he does come back, it definitely would make the NFC South a little bit more. It would be between Tampa Bay and New Orleans next year if he retires. I mean, the thing with the Saints right now is they have salary cap issues. So that's the thing that would scare being a Saints fan if you were a Saints fan. Yeah,
I think he was supposed to make a decision. He said like 2 weeks ago that within 2 weeks' time I was going to make a decision, and he hasn't made it yet, or at least we don't know about it.
Yeah, so, I mean, the funny thing is, information travels too fast. Like, as soon as you hear something, it's on social media somewhere or it's being reported. Well, speaking of that, I mean, rest in peace, Vincent Jackson. I don't know. They said today that he may have been suffering from alcoholism. I don't know.
That wasn't reported.
Speculation. Lewis, honestly, when I heard the story and then I heard that he had been in a hotel since like mid-January, I thought it was suicide, because you're by yourself. That's the kind of thing that you do. You don't report. You don't talk to your friends or family. So to me, I think that, but again, I could be wrong. Maybe it wasn't suicide. Maybe it was something else. I don't know.
Well, if it's alcoholism, you drank yourself to death. So that I do consider a form of suicide.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, we don't know if, they said today that the medical examiner was doing the autopsy. They hadn't got the results of that back yet to tell us whether it was alcohol. It could have been a mixture of drugs. We don't know. All we can do is speculate right now about what happened to him. I know it was sad. I know, here in Tampa, because he played for the Bucks, it really hit the area hard. There were a lot of newscasters. I saw the day after there was a lot of them that were pretty shook up that he had passed away. Like I said, we don't know if it was alcoholism, if it was a mixture of alcohol and drugs. But I mean, he did a lot for the military families here in Tampa Bay. So that's why I think it hit all of the newscasters here a little bit hard, was when you have a guy like that I think he won like the Walter Payton Man of the Year. Yeah. Yeah. So he definitely, I mean, he, like I said, I was telling Lewis, he was a big cornerstone guy here in Tampa, especially with the community.
I believe it. Yeah, that was a hard one.
Again, we don't know. Again, we can all speculate. I mean, to me, when I saw the report come out that, again, I was telling Lewis that he had been in a hotel since middle of January by himself, you speculate suicide, because that's just that's the number one thing that I think we all would turn to. They said today that it could have been alcoholism, it could have been drugs. I don't really know. Maybe he was going through a divorce with his wife. I mean, we don't know what obviously caused it. So,
it could have been an accidental suicide.
Could have been that too. Could have been that too. Like Lewis said, he may have drank himself to death. Alcohol poisoning, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's
just a tragedy, man.
Yeah, I mean, a good player, one of those guys that
great player, man. Yeoman work.
Didn't get an opportunity. I don't think, did he play in the Super Bowl? I don't know if he ever got there with the Sharks.
Think so.
Okay. I was just gonna say, I wrote an article. Speaking of that, I wrote an article about the greatest players never to win a Super Bowl. So here were my top 5.
Okay, I think I know.
Number 1, Barry Sanders was number 1. Okay. Number 2, Dan Marino.
There you go.
3, Jim Kelly. Number 4, Earl Campbell. Yeah. And number 5 was Derek Thomas. I had to pick a defense.
Tragedy.
So those again, there was a bunch of them on the list. You had Dick Butkus was on that list. There's a bunch of them that are on that list that were great players. Jim Brown, I think, was on that list too. He had to have been on that list. I don't think the Browns ever won a championship, or did they win a championship?
They won like 3 or 4 championships. Yeah, but they never won a Super Bowl with him.
Right. Well, don't forget they played before the Super Bowl era began.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl era. So
yeah,
I think we should exclude that.
You think so?
I think we should exclude players that did not play in the Super Bowl era, because that one goes back to '67. So anything before that, before the dinosaur era ended, I don't know if we can count that.
I mean, Warren Moon was on that list. Good quarterbacks. So he was on that list. Steve Largent was one of the top wide receivers. Randy Moss never won one. He was there. They lost to the Giants. He was there.
Thank you for bringing up such a painful memory. Why don't you give me a nice paper cut and rub lemon juice while you're at it?
I was just as painful about that game as you were, buddy. So I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
That was the David Tyree catch, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, freaking helmet catch.
The helmet catch. Yeah, that was the helmet catch.
Yeah, helmet catch.
I mean, when I was given the opportunity to write that article, Barry Sanders came to mind. That was it's
a great pick. Dan Marino is right up there.
Never mind.
What about Matt Hasselbeck? Or Sean Alexander? Junior Seau. Did Seau got there after they won the first 2? Did he win one?
Nope. Junior was on that list, but Junior was on. Okay. Yep, he was on that list. God rest his soul too, because he.
Yep.
That was.
What about Kevin Winslow?
Yes. Which one, senior or junior?
Senior. Kevin Winslow Jr. doesn't count.
Okay. Yes, senior. Chargers. Yep.
Yep. And Doug Flutie, not Doug Flutie. Dan Fouts.
Dan Fouts was on that list. Yep.
Yeah.
He was on that list too. Yep. He was on that list also. I mean, I saw.
What about Marty Schottenheimer?
Oh, there's another one. God rest his soul too.
I know he didn't play, but I mean, Man, he did everything. He was.
He got the shoe somehow every time.
Every single freaking time.
Yeah. Every time his team got to got to the game, something would happen. A fumble, a turnover, something caused them to lose the game.
What about Tony Romo?
Okay, you could put Tony on. I mean, let's put on that. Would you put Romo on that?
Carry Underwood for that.
I'm trying to go down the list of like defensive guys, and I mean, again, I picked Derek Thomas.
I was trying to think of defensive guys that didn't get there and didn't get one.
Did Reggie White ever win? Did Reggie White win?
Won with the Packers.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Well, Jerome Brown, he passed away before he had an opportunity to win one with the Eagles. Jerome Brown would have been on that list.
What about the nightmare that played in I can see his face.
Night Train Lane, right?
No. In the 90s, played with Minnesota. John Randall?
Randall. John Randall.
Yeah.
Yep. Used to paint it, had the eye black.
Yeah.
Cheeks. All the way down his cheeks. Yep. John Randall. Well, how about Randall Cunningham? He never got to it.
Yep. He never even got to one. Michael Vick.
Michael Vick. Did Vick get to the game or did they not?
They lost in the divisional round. They went and beat the Packers in Lambeau in the playoffs for the first time since like 1924 or something like that.
Right. Because it was Chris Chandler that when they played the Broncos. That was John Elway's first of two before he retired.
Yep.
It was the Falcons and the Broncos because it was Dan Reeves who was their head coach in Atlanta.
Yep. And then he went to St. Louis and won it all.
Yes, correct.
He was talking about calling it a career. I watched an interview with him. He's like, the worst decision he ever made was retiring.
Who's that?
Dan Reeves.
Oh, Dan Reeves? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they've been talking, of course, obviously, I think all the coaching vacancies have been filled.
Yep, everything's been filled.
They were talking about Bill Cowher coming back.
Yeah, they do that every year.
Yeah, I know.
Bill Cowher is more than happy to be a TV guy.
Yes.
Bill Cowher is.
Yeah, I mean, if I was Bill, I'd just stay on the TV side.
I get $14 million a year to talk about football.
Yes. Yep.
Call other people terrible coaches and proselytize about the game once a week. I got 3 production meetings a week. And I'll spend 3 hours in the office, and I go home and I get to spend the rest of my day doing whatever the hell I please.
Correct. Yep.
Sit and spin. I ain't coming back to this nonsense.
I don't understand why John Gruden left the booth either, but I guess
I don't know. Yeah. And then I think John Gruden had wanted to prove that he could still do it.
Gotcha.
By the way, Rangers won 3-2 in the shootout.
Oh, I'm watching this game.
Oh, the game's already over?
It's over. It's over.
It's already over on his TV, but it's not on your TV.
Because I'm backed up.
Oh.
I froze up and I had to go back and watch it.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
It was a shootout win, so obviously I had to watch the shootout.
Yeah. I'm going to watch the shootout anyway. But
it's a break for us. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Rangers, how's their first overall pick going out this year? Juan Faye or whatever his name is. I can't remember his name.
The Rangers are in a battle for the basement right now.
No, they're not.
Well, they're not doing that great.
Yeah, well, we occupy the basement, so y'all can.
Yeah, well, Rangers are that regular, so.
Yeah, you can have the basement next year.
Thanks.
Again, I think
I know. Give him a couple of years. He's got to take his time. But
I was going to say,
after 5 years of perpetual losing, it's really hard when you've been in a city where you've been the only bright spot in sports for the majority of the last 30 years. And you have, you had 25 plus years of listening, the Pistons won their last title in 2003. The Tigers haven't won a title since '84.
Right.
The Lions haven't won a title since '57. And that wasn't even a Super Bowl. It was 10 years before the Super Bowl was even invented.
Yeah.
And I've heard over and over again, next year, trust the process. It just takes time. It just takes time.
It's a slow process, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it's a slow process.
Well, we're building a winner. And I've heard all the platitudes, and I've heard all of the coach speak, and I've heard all the GMs say, "We trust the process. We're taking our time." And yet, I got no show for it. I've got no winning to show for it. Haven't made the playoffs since 2015.
Yeah,
I'm tired of the process of winning again. We don't got to make the playoffs. I just want to win some games. I want to be competitive. And I've got I got 15 prospects down in Sweden in the minors.
Only 15?
Wasting away.
Yeah.
For these bums who are in these middle-aged hockey players who can't score and half the time look like they got their skates tied together.
No, I actually talked to
together, man.
Yep, I talked to a Red Wings fan that agrees with that. He said there's too many young guys that should be playing right now, and they're not.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know why. They don't know.
You got guys like Vinny. Don't get me wrong. 10 years ago, Valtteri Filppula was a scoring machine, a point a night kind of guy. That was 10 years ago. This is 2021, not 2008, 2009. Franz Nielsen hasn't been good for 4 freaking years. It gets frustrating and tiring, and I'm hearing trust the process. It'll take time. Well, I'm starting to run out of time. I don't want to wait 108 years for a championship.
You know why? I won't run that long.
No, right? I mean,
I'm 51 now.
Yeah, I know, right?
When you put it like that, when you say that, the Red Wings have been the bright spot in Detroit for so long, and now have had 2 or 3 bad seasons. It's hard. It's hard. It really is hard.
Yeah.
I mean, for all the diehard Detroit sports fans, the ones that cheer for the Lions, the Tigers, the Red Wings, the Pistons, whoever it might be.
Oh my!
You cheer for them, and now the team that's been the equivalent of a winner has now gone away, and you're like, okay, like you just said, when is it going to come back around? Like, when is this process of us losing going to come back around to back to the winning side of this? Because in a way, I think out of the 4 teams that are there, they're the best chance of coming out of it a winner.
Yeah.
I know.
So I can't tell you, but I'm just, that's my opinion with that. I think it's the Red Wings are the team that, the best of the 4.
I think by the time we see Detroit win another championship, I think I'll have one foot in the grave by then.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's just frustrating. And,
with 120 maybe.
We're 8 years since 9 years now since our last World Series or our last championship appearance. We don't have a lot to hang our hat on right now. We don't have a good football team. We don't have a good baseball team. Don't have a good basketball team. Don't have a good hockey team. And when you've been a stalwart of North American sports for so long, and to watch every single team you love and care about fail on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis, I get tired of hearing platitudes. I get tired of hearing coach speak. I get tired of hearing wait until next year. I get tired of it. It gets frustrating and infuriating.
Yeah. I thought New York was bad.
Well, I mean, you got the Yankees. I mean,
the Yankees are always one Steinbrenner check away from winning the World Series. So
yeah, we got that going for 12 years.
Yeah, I mean, that's what New York.
The Yankees are going to be competitive against this year.
Oh, yeah.
When was the last time the Yankees missed the playoffs for 6 consecutive years?
The 80s?
From like 82 to 90 to 93, 94.
Right.
Well, 93 because 94 was canceled, so 82 to 93.
Right. So it's been 35 years since you've had an extended losing period.
Right.
For obviously, the Giants won the Super Bowl in 2011. The Mets have been to a World Series in 2015, and the Islanders have been competitive.
Yep.
And and you've got a lot of great franchise. You turn around and you got a Yankees game on, or you've got a Rangers game on. People want to be, I don't want the Pistons, the Wings, the Lions. They don't deserve to be on national television. They're terrible. They stink.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch my teams get embarrassed week in and week out.
Of course not.
And be told again and again and again, and we'll trust the process. I've been trusting the process since 2008, 2004, 2012. Pick a sport. It's been 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, 103 years.
Well, gentlemen, any last thoughts?
No, I'm good. I apologize for my brief absence. I sent it to a break, but nature called.
No worries. Right. Well, with that, gentlemen, I'll go ahead and go through the close of the show again, guys. This has been the Walker Report, part of In the Zone Sports Talk Radio. Thank you to these two awesome gentlemen that I get to do this show with every Thursday. And then again, thank you guys too for last week. Really helped me last week after my mom passed away. It was the first show that I've had with you guys since she passed away. But thank you for that. Again, guys, if you want some In the Zone gear, head over to squadlocker.com. Type in the Zone Sports Talk Radio to order your gear. And again, guys, our show is sponsored by creatingzenspaces.com. That is the local choice in St. Petersburg, Florida for house cleaning, organization, decluttering, and pet sitting. It's about finding the peace within you and adding comfort to your life. And remember, guys, Zen Spaces begins with you. Be kind to yourself and one another. And again, guys, if you did miss any of the show and you want to see it in its entirety, head over to our YouTube channel, The Sports Nerd Bradley Walker, to watch it in its entirety. With that, guys, again, thank you for coming on and joining me. I want to thank our guests tonight. I think, guys, in the future, I think we're going to run with that league. We'll have to kind of keep track of it. Maybe we can do a weekly thing. Once the season starts, we can go through them. And maybe, like I said, maybe we can have another general manager on. Maybe players from other teams can come on here and talk and tell us how they're, what their stories are. I'm sure being a high school athlete or someone that, is a little bit over high school age can come on and try to play and get a college scholarship or whatever. So that's pretty damn cool with that.
Yeah, very cool.
Like I said, gentlemen, thank you. Before we go, as always, I want to thank the first responders, doctors, and nurses, the true heroes through this whole pandemic since it started back in February of last year. Jesus, it's been that long ago that it started. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, since we knew about it, but it might have existed before that.
Correct.
Since it got here and really started affecting us.
Well, because I think I got a pre-version of it back at the end of 2018. So.
Then also, guys, to the men and women of our armed services, both active, retired, and the ones who have left us. Thank you for your sacrifice, for what you do. We wouldn't be able to do this every week if it was not for what you guys, what you men and women do every day, all around the world. Thank you for doing what you do. Domestic soldiers, our police officers, firefighters, and paramedics, thank you for doing what you do, keeping us safe here domestically. Guys, like I said, thank you for everyone that tuned into the show. Even if you were here for just a second, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. That helps us. Our views are up. I think last week, guys, we had 72 views between Facebook and YouTube. And I had 60 on my Monday show. That's after taking a 2-week break. So I'm pretty happy with our fan base that we still have good support, even in a 2-week break. But again, I want to thank you both, guys. Love you guys both. Well, everyone on that comes in and joins the show. And again, we'll be back next week. Actually, next week, guys, if you want to know, we're going to go ahead and go through the different records of every major sport. And we'll talk about, can they be broken? Will they be broken? That kind of thing. We'll do that next week. That sounds like a cool topic.
Yeah, it sounds great.
I know at one time someone mentioned to me that we should do the history of the Stanley Cup. You guys want to do that for 2 hours? Talk about that for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll do that in the That way, next week I can just look up records and then we can go down the list of all the records in each sport.
Yeah.
And talk about that. But until then, guys, thank you again for everything, and I'll see you guys next Thursday. With that, this has been the Sports Sir Brad Walker. I'm calling. Good night, guys. Peace.
Night.
So long.